Who's ready for 2025 Mar-A-Lago? Let's go. There's businessmen on the dance floor jumping up and down, having a great time.
Ready to go? With my friend Ryan, DJ RanKan. Not only did you end 2024 in a big way, you started 2025 in an even bigger way. What happened?
Yeah, it was like a crossover.
Yeah.
It was, it blended together. So my New Year's Eve plans were out of control. I DJ'd for the future president of the United States.
How did this even happen, Ryan? I mean,
Right?
The idea that you were in the Mar-A-Lago resort in West Palm Beach,
Yeah.
DJing for the president.
So I started doing large-scale corporate events about 8 years ago, traveling all over the world. I was DJing for Meghan Trainor.
Just make some noise and give it up for multi-platinum sensation, the queen of empowerment anthems, the one and only Meghan Trainor!
In Tulsa, Oklahoma, I got off stage. This gentleman came up to me. He goes, "Hey, you had a lot of energy on stage. You were really good. We have this DJ at this New Year's party that I do every single year. And, he just wasn't that. He's like, I'm wondering if you can maybe come do my party on New Year's." And I told him, I was straight up. I was like, I do a party myself on New Year's every single year. I don't think I can make it.
Right, you're supposed to be at Mister's in East Aurora.
Yeah, right. Yeah, all my friends come out. We have a good time. But he was like, before you write this off, let me just tell you what it is. He goes, it's at Mar-A-Lago. And I just stopped him. I was like, you know what? I'll be there.
Okay, so what was your thought in that moment? Like, he's telling you that he almost is like a scout. And you're like, okay, Mar-A-Lago. You put two and two together. It's the presidential palace, the Winter White House. And you're the guy.
You never know who's in front of you.
Yeah, sure.
Right? So you always try and be your best version of yourself. And it was right time, right place. And this gentleman was there and, he invited me to go DJ at the White House. So I'm still in shock. It already happened and I'm still in shock about it because it feels like a whirlwind that I went through on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, totally surreal. I mean, the idea that this random recruiter was in this one random place, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah, of all cities, right?
And
Tulsa.
then takes you from Buffalo to Mar-A-Lago. That's a huge deal, especially for a Buffalo. I mean, like anyone, really, but like you're just a Buffalo guy.
I'm a country boy. Like I live outside of East Aurora and drive four-wheelers and stuff. So it was pretty surreal. Mar-A-Lago itself was incredible, by the way. Like just being there in the room with all of Donald Trump's guests and watching the ball drop and the energy, it was very electric. It was really a story. I could sit here with you for hours.
Yeah, I want to actually hear the stories. Like, what was the most amazing thing to you? What was the most incredible moment?
I'm standing on the floor. Just picture this. Donald Trump's table, his dinner table, was not like on display. It was just in the middle of the ballroom around everybody else's tables. Everybody else's table sat about 8 people. His sat about 30 people and it had a red stanchion velvet rope around it. And you knew he was going to enter the room soon because the room flooded with Secret Service.
Wow.
And so I'm standing there from me, maybe 5 feet away from Elon Musk. And I have my cell phone out. I'm videotaping it. I don't know if I should have been or not. But I'm videotaping it. And I'm like, oh man, this is crazy. So they do the introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to, the future president of the United States. I'm just standing in the midst of, the Trump family, Elon Musk, Ted Cruz is standing right there. JD Vance, the owner of PayPal, is standing with me.
I mean, love him or hate him, the idea that you're in the room, you're in the same space with the future president. I mean, that's got to be insane to you.
Yeah, and you know what? That is, when I took this gig, I feel blessed to just be working.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
So, I mean, no matter who it was, to say that I DJ'd for the president is incredible. So, I mean, I'm saying yes, no matter what.
No doubt.
To go and do this event.
Did they pay you for this?
They did. They did.
What could be better than that, right? You're making money. You're in the room with the president. Did you talk to him?
I didn't get a chance to. Secret Service was no joke. So let me just tell you that. Like, the heightened security in Mar-A-Lago was crazy. We had to go through 4 checkpoints in the Sprinter van just to get on property. They completely tore apart my DJ bag.
Wow.
As expected. And, you know, I didn't get a chance to talk to him, but I did take a pretty mediocre selfie.
Why mediocre, Ryan?
Because only I knew I was taking a selfie with him. I don't even think he's looking at the camera, but I sniped it. You know, I got a good photo with me and him. So.
Did you have to sign an NDA? I mean, you've got your cell phone out. You're recording. Like, are they concerned, do you think, about anything getting out?
You know, Ed, if I signed an NDA, I don't know if I'd be sitting here right
seriously?
now. No, I didn't have to sign anything, believe it or not.
Wow.
And it's just... Everybody was just there with their phones talking about it. I mean, this is expected, I think. People go to his New Year's Eve party. They take photos. They're well-known people.
I mean, we're seeing pictures and reporting from outside the event, but now to be inside. I mean, that's a completely different look at the president. What was surprising? What was stand out for you? You
know, what was surprising to me was that, you know, I'm looking at this giant picture from the outside, right? I don't belong in this world regularly.
That's not true. I mean,
you know what I mean? Like,
he's just a guy.
And that's exactly the point I'm trying to make right now. Like, I'm in this room with all of his friends, and I realize that, you know, he's just a guy.
Sure.
And people are just normal to him. And his friends and his family is there, and you see his kids, and it's just, you know, a family man having a New Year's Eve party with his closest friends. So
behind a velvet robe.
Yeah, you know, I mean, there's obviously some pretty abnormal things that go into, you know, being the president and trying to live a normal life. But it was just a really electric experience. But on the flip side of that, though, too, I mean, there are some challenges with doing an event that is that high of a profile event. Sure. So, you know, staying calm when things don't go wrong. You know, we're all on headsets talking to the production company to make sure what's going to happen next. I mean, I shared the stage with Leonard Skinner, which was incredible, and the 38th special. The Commodores were there. The Village People tribute was there. Of course, I had to play the YMCA. So
when in Rome.
Yeah, right?
So the Commodores were there. Was Lionel Richie there?
Lionel wasn't there, and I love Lionel Richie.
All right, so then Elon Musk is feet away from you. He's got his kids on his shoulders.
Yeah, he's got his son on his shoulders. You know, that typical, you see him in the news lately, he's got his son with him. So, I mean, it was really cool to see him being a father.
What was the feeling that you walked away with? I mean, this is really cool for anyone, but... Yeah. I mean, to have somebody from Buffalo be like thrust to the national stage like that, that's a huge deal.
Yeah, it's, you know, the way you said that, I just got goosebumps. So walking away from it, it almost didn't feel real to me because I was there for just such a short amount of time. I flew in, I was engulfed in this world, and then I left almost like it never happened.
What, a dream.
Yeah, a dream. I remember the clock hitting midnight. I'm on stage with the rest of the band. The song we played, Blink-182, All the Small Things. I'm on the microphone singing the song with the rest of the band. Super random, but that song popped off. Wow. Not everybody was singing it. And it was just like, yeah, it was a super random pick, but it was a power move, I think. That was a power move song. After that, you know, you go back to your hotel room and you try and decompress.
Sure, yeah. Did you sleep that night?
Zero. Yeah, absolutely not. Like, you come down from that adrenaline rush. And some gigs I can come down from, and that was one of them that I just couldn't.
Tell me what was interesting, like, leading up to this, because you were telling me that you had to just kind of, like, book a flight. You didn't even know that this was happening until a day or two before.
Yeah, right. So I booked a flight to West Palm Beach. Flights were crazy expensive.
Wow.
I sent the flight over to the production company for approval. I was like, hey, this flight's, like, pretty high right now.
Do they pay for that also?
Yeah, they were like,
wow.
Book it. So I booked it.
First class?
You know, and so I booked it. It goes on my invoice. It got reimbursed. But yeah, so I land Mar-A-Lago Resort's there with my name on a sign. They drive me to the hotel, which was super cool. Went out, had my own solo dinner to get, you know, my mind right, and went to bed the night before New Year's Eve. And it was just a really incredible experience. Just
talk to me about the nerves, or I don't know, maybe you don't get nervous. I would get nervous though, just kind of like am I worthy of this, or I can't believe this is happening to me, or I'm not going to be good enough. I mean, like, do you feel any of that at that moment?
Yeah, you know, I do, and it's really interesting you asked that. It's called imposter syndrome, right? So I don't know if it's just humble beginnings or like how I like to live my life, but I almost feel sometimes when I get into these situations, I have imposter syndrome. I'm like, how am I here?
Yeah, I get it.
You know? And, but once I'm there, I dial in and execute and throw an awesome show, and you're on the microphone and you're ripping it and you're just having a great time. And you kind of remember in that moment and you're like, this is what I do.
It's your training almost that kind of brings you to that point.
Yeah, you know, like I've branded myself as like the world's corporate DJ, so I'm there doing that. But then I get back on the airplane and I fly home, and I'm gonna get in my pickup truck and I'm gonna
go back to Elma.
Yeah, right. And like, what's funny is like my polar opposite side of my life. Like I'm on a side quest that I like to tell people that I'm trying to provide affordable living for senior citizens in the Buffalo area.
Noteworthy.
Yeah. So. But, you know, I got off the airplane and I went and fixed a toilet. So it's like a total opposite side of the spectrum life that I'm living. And people follow me at gigs, and then I go post stories on my Instagram and they're like, are you the same person? Like, what are you doing?
So, okay, I mean, like you've branded yourself as this corporate DJ. But you started in Buffalo at Kiss 98.5. I mean, it's the iHeart radio station. It wasn't, you know, when you were there, I'm sure, and it was kind of a different kind of flow and management style.
Yeah.
But everyone listens to Kiss 98.5, and everyone knows Janet and Nick, and everyone knows the people. You were the guy, RanKan.
Yeah.
I mean, but then, again, it's like, here you are now DJing for Donald Trump.
Yeah. Yeah. It's quite, you know, it's been a really great ride. It's been so much fun, and you know, just shaking hands with the clients that I work with all over the globe. You know, I did 117 flights last year alone, playing large scale corporate shows, and it's polar opposite than doing radio.
You're in front of people.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're live in front of people, and you're working on the fly. And
you said that like you were on the radio. You're live.
You're live, and I hate prepping for shows like. This New Year's Eve show at Mar-A-Lago, there was zero preparation I could have done to prepare myself for that. And, you know, that's kind of what I pride myself on, is that every show I do is organic. You never get two of the same shows. So, and I think that, you know, being on the radio for 8 years kind of prepped me for that as well. So it's just been a really, really cool ride.
Tell me what was on your playlist for the president.
All right, so obviously the YMCA, you know, that's his jam. I got a video of that moment. And but on top of that, I played everything from some Billy Joel to Lil Jon, Turned Down for What, believe it or not. Yeah, right?
Were people dancing?
Crazy. Like, people are on the dance floor. Like, there's businessmen on the dance floor jumping up and down, having a great time. And I played in between artists. So like 38 Special played, Leonard Skinner, like I said, CeeLo Green, and they would have to change the stage over in between artists. So that's when I would come on, and I would try and play things that were totally different than what they just listened to.
Sure.
Kind of give it like an energy shift.
Mm-hmm. And you've got to maintain that energy.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So the energy shift would happen, and, you know, I would be on the microphone hyping people up. Who's ready for 2025 Mar-A-Lago? Let's go. And people are jumping up and down, having a great time. I mean, you're partying with the president, so it's crazy.
I mean, is this unbelievable to you still?
Yeah,
I mean, like, we're days after New Year's.
Yeah, I know.
Are you still on cloud nine? Like, are you still reliving this in your mind?
Yeah, you know, I am. And it's crazy because I'm sitting here with you on the news, and I've done some cool stuff in my career. Like, nothing has topped this, but like, this is what it took to get an interview with you. So I'm so excited that we pulled it off.
Okay, so where do you go from here, man?
I don't know. Like, I was talking about that with my friends, and I'm just like, what's next for DJ RanKan?
Yeah.
Like, what do I go do? Like, I was doing the Miss USA pageants for years, and I thought that was incredible. And then I'm like, I go and DJ for the President of the United States. I'm like, what is after that? Like, do I have to do an inauguration party or something? Like,
is that a possibility?
Yeah, I mean, is somebody in his family going to get married? I'm going to be the wedding DJ. I don't know what's going to be next for that, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, you should be really proud of yourself. Give me some advice. If somebody's watching this and they're like, okay, you know, this is interesting to me. You've got a really cool job. You're in front of a lot of people and you meet a lot of cool people.
Yeah.
How do I get there? And what's your best advice for somebody who's trying to be DJ RanKan?
Yeah. All right. So for me, it's been right time, right place, right opportunity. And I could preface that with a story, a very quick one that I like to tell, is that the reason why I started DJing corporate was because I went out of my comfort zone. I bought a ticket to a show. The DJ never showed up to the after party. And I drove 3 hours there, and I had my DJ gear. And I went out of my way. I said, can I help you?
Wow.
And that woman happened to be the executive producer for Success Magazine. I guess my advice for you, if you're watching, if you want to be a DJ, you got to practice your craft. You got to get out of your comfort zone, and you have to just stay persistent and consistent and do things with a smile on your face. It's not always about you as a DJ. You know, I don't play music that I like. I play music that I think the crowd would like. And every show is different, and you play your clientele, and you play the room, and that's what makes a great DJ.
So like Gracie Abrams, is that on your playlist?
Ryan!
Taylor?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, fine,
Of course.
We're halfway there. Well, bottom line is that you have made it. You have, I'm sure, checked an item off your bucket list, and you're kind of it.
Thanks, bro. That's awesome. It feels crazy to say. I don't feel like I'm it, but that feels crazy to say.
Yeah. No, I mean, really, for a Buffalo guy, you know, that we can just talk like this, to be in the company of the President of the United States. I mean, it could be anybody, but it's you. It could have been anybody.
Yeah, it literally could have been anybody. There's millions of DJs and millions of New Year's Eve parties on that specific night. And the fact that I was invited to do that specific party, which I think is probably the most exclusive New Year's Eve party in the country, was an honor. Such a great honor.
Good for you, Ryan. Yeah. Thank you so much for being with us. And hey, go Bills, right?
Go Bills!